Okay, the next section that we need to discuss is data collection instruments. So for you to get an accurate data, you need to design the instrument that you will use. Specifically for quantitative research, you will need a survey questionnaire. But however, let me just give you some of these informations here. It said that an accurate and systematic data collection is critical to conducting what? Scientific research. So you should take this section very, very seriously. Data collection allows you to collect information that you will need in order to answer your research questions. So depending on the research type that you will establish, method of data collection includes what? Document review, observation, survey questionnaires, and interview, and focus group discussions. So let's look into some of these methods. So for quantitative research, which is specifically what you are going to be doing, you are mandated to conduct a quantitative research. You will be using a survey questionnaire. So a questionnaire is a data collection instrument, consists of a series of questions and others prompts for the purpose of gathering information from the respondents. So you will be using a survey questionnaire, and this kind of survey questionnaire you'll be using is a Likert scale, 7-scale Likert scale. This is what is required. So what are the steps that you will use in designing and administering your research questionnaire? This is for quantitative research. You have to define the objective of the study. Okay, so you revisit your objectives so that when you are designing your research survey questionnaire, these objectives are embedded. And of course, if you recall what we've been saying, here now, each section of your survey questionnaire should include the variables that you will use in your measurement. So number 2, define the target respondents and the method to reach them. How will you reach them? By email, via SurveyMonkey, or by e-post, okay, or web-based applications. Okay, so you design the questionnaire. Now you need to pilot test the questionnaire. Okay, you need to pilot test the questionnaire in order to establish the Cronbach alpha for each of the factors or constructs or variables. So you administer the questionnaire and the data gathered, you analyze it, and then establish the results. So these are the steps that you need to follow when you design and administer your questionnaire. Okay, so let's look into defining the objective of the study. A questionnaire should allow us to collect the most complete and accurate data in a logical flow. This is done in order to reach reliable conclusion from what we are planning to observe, based on the research problem, based on the objective research question, the hypothesis statements. Okay? All those factors needs to be considered when you are defining and designing your research survey questionnaire. A well-designed questionnaire should meet research goals and objectives and minimize unanswered questions, a common problem bound to many surveys. So you should concentrate, go back, review your objectives, review your research questions, most specifically the research variables that you use in your developing your hypothesis statement need to now have a section in your survey questionnaire. Okay? For example, if you go back to examples that we have given in the examples, research topic example, you find out that we had 5 hypothesis statements. So those 5 hypotheses or 5 variables can have, each of them can have a section in your survey questionnaire. So, of course, define the target respondents and meet the method to reach them, like we say. All right? Researchers should clearly define the target population, study population, from which he or she collects the data and information. Main methods of reaching the respondent are personal contacts, which is easiest but sometimes difficult, group or focus interviews. This is for qualitative, we'll talk about that. Mail, internet-based questionnaire, telephone interview, etc., if possible. Okay. Now, in writing the questionnaire, how will you design the questionnaire? Before writing the questionnaire, researchers should decide on the questionnaire content. Like I mentioned, what's going to be there. The most basic format is to use the variables as heads for each section of the survey questionnaire. So each question should contribute to testing one or more hypotheses. That's what I'm saying. Research question established in the research design. Okay? Question could be open format questions that are without a predetermined set of responses. So you have the 7 scale, Likert scale, which is what SBS is recommending. And then can also be closed formats that takes the form of multiple choice questions, depending on the choice of your research questions. All right? So in writing the survey questionnaire, you should have these points in mind. Clarity. Question has the same meaning for all respondents. So that means every respondent that you will be using in your research study should get the same questionnaire, and it should be clear. Phrasing. Short and simple sentences are preferred. Only one piece of information at a time. Avoid negative, if possible. Ask precise questions in line with respondent level of knowledge. Well, this is why before you administer the survey questionnaire, you have to pilot test it to ascertain its validity and reliability. Now, another thing you have to consider is sensitive questions. Avoid questions that could be embarrassing to your respondents, all right? And also avoid hypothetical questions should also be avoided, all right? So like I mentioned, another thing you need to do is pilot test the questionnaires first. The major challenge in questionnaire design is to make it clear to all respondents. When you pilot test the questionnaire, you will now determine whether it is feasible or if it's reliable, it is valid. Okay, in order to identify and solve the confusing points, we need to pre-test the questionnaire. That's true. During the pilot trial, the questionnaire participant should be randomly selected in order to test the survey questionnaire. Okay, so the next section we deal now with data analysis.